One of the nice things about Ikea is they have a lot of interesting items to make daily living a little bit more enjoyable, and all done with that Swedish style. So this is what they call the Ikea 365, and it's a French press that I thought looked kind of stylish. I thought, let's give it a try and see what it's like. It comes in simple packaging, just this kind of cardboard covering. This is designed by Ola Vilborg, and you just kind of open it up, pull it off like this, nice. And it's got a cork bottom here, just all glass construction, rounded here at the bottom. That's kind of pretty. Glass handle, everything's all in one. And then we've got a really nice stainless steel and kind of birch looking top, very Scandinavian. The spring on the mesh screen is nice and snug here. So that's a positive feeling, right? So that's really nice. Comes with a instruction book. It's not terribly luxurious. Like, this is just a stamped spun stainless that, you can hear it. It feels a little bit rough, a little bit of mesh here, as always, just to kind of, these are too big to hold back any kind of particulates. And gosh, if you have particulates that are big enough to be stopped by these mesh things, you've got another problem going on in there. Then we have the typical Bodum style French press 3-piece. There's a large cross member here that has a mesh screen, and that all should come apart fairly simply. It just comes apart like this, right? So just these 3 pieces here, very traditional French press style, which is great. And so what's there to say? It's a French press. It's not terribly difficult to brew with a French press. We're going to get our hot water, just rinse it out a little bit. We've got this nice cork to protect your countertop. We're going to get our fellow Tally Pro here. There we go. We're going to be using today the Espresso 99 from Spur Coffee, my espresso blend, just because that's what I have on hand. And we're just going to add 24 grams. We're going to make a 12-ounce drink. So we're going to add 24 grams of coffee to the mix. Put 24. That's good. Another fellow product, fellow Ode Generation 2, so really a nice grinder that I've been using lately. We're going to go all the way this way to fully coarse, as coarse as this thing will go. We're going to turn it on. I like how it spins up and then just kind of mellows out. You can see that a little bit, you can see it there. When it finishes, it stops. I don't have to touch it, which is kind of a nice touch. So we're fairly on the coarse. Oh, you can't really see it too well, but we're pretty coarse. We'll try the brew assist mode. Tear out 24.2 grams, 350 milliliters of water. Reset that, and now let us begin. So just want to make sure that we get everything saturated. I like to spin it around there. Make sure that all of the grounds are nice and hydrated. Our target's 350. We're going to roll to our 45 seconds, and then we're going to add the rest of the coffee to volume, and then wait our total of 4 minutes of brew time. But let's go. We're just going to go all the way. Ooh, there's a lot more volume left. So you can actually make at least twice this amount. So now that we've got this going, I'm going to put and cover, because I just don't want to have all the heat continuously bleeding out. And I'm going to use the mesh here just to press down slightly to make sure that any kind of grounds that may be floating will be kept in submersion or in immersion with that. Now the nice thing is that it fits in pretty well and snug here. That's not very exciting. Push this down in there, pook. And then I like to keep the mesh part away from the spout, just so that you try to hold in as much heat as possible, and then press down just slightly. Once you start to see a little bit of the liquid come through the holes on top of the mesh, that's enough. 2 minutes, we're halfway there. When it comes to these type of French presses, they're really simple. It's hard to say that there's anything bad about them. It's got all the components that you need. It's very much like a Bodum Chambord. I don't expect it to be much different than any other French press that we brewed with in the past, which means that it's perfectly fine. And if it fits the style that you like and it fits the price point that you want to be in, I'm going to guess it's going to brew really great coffee. But we're going to find out in just a few more moments. 3 minutes, 30 seconds. This is always the point where you're just kind of waiting. This is the awkward time. 3 minutes, 54, 55, 3, 2, 1. And okay, we press down. Now what you want to do is make sure that you're lining back up here. There we go, boom, like that. We can see that it's floating there. There's a little bit floating down here. We're gonna pour this into our carafe just so that we can stop the extraction. Okay, that's really all we're doing. We're just stopping the extraction. Put this in a glass. I mean, as you can see, it does have some some translucency because there is sediments that are not filtered out that you would have filtered with paper or cloth. So it's a bit cloudy in looks. That's to be expected. That's all part of the French press experience. Like if you wanted to filter this, well, then why not just use a filter process, right? French press has a certain style and certain aura and aroma and certain joie de vivre that you want to enjoy. This is one of those times that it's like we're looking for things with a brewer that's untoward about the brewer. That this one is a French press. It made a French press coffee. Now you can manipulate this by changing the amount of coffee, how you might pour, how long you might let certain amounts of water steep with the grounds. You may work more on the grind setting, go finer, go coarser. Many ways that you can try to impact the flavor, but it's a French press. It's going to work like any French press that you used before, which in many respects is high praise. This is a great price point, so you can get a great coffee as long as you don't use the Ikea brand coffee. That stuff is kind of difficult. But the Ikea 365, designed by Ola Vilborg, yeah, I'd say pretty good. All right, hope that helped to give you some insight on this. Try my coffee here, get to taste what I'm tasting, and see you next time.